So we had to have some guys on the panel, and we were honored and we are privileged to have Rick Lowe. And Rick will come up and tell us a little bit about himself.
Hey guys, I'm Rick Lowe. I'm based in London, just near Baker Street. I'm a serial entrepreneur. I've had a variety of businesses. My current business is mainly in fashion licensing, so things like working with people like Disney, Warner Brothers, a lot of music artists to take their intellectual property and put it out into the fashion world. I've got a podcast series I've started called Maverick Mindsets, which really interviews interesting people about their life journey, growth, personal development, that kind of thing. And I'm releasing my first book next year called The Maverick's Roller Coaster, because life is a roller coaster, business certainly is. And I'm really privileged to be today. Thanks to Anthony for inviting me to be on the panel with the rest of the panelists. Thank you.
Okay, I'm going to put Rick on the spot a little bit because I see that we have Sophia here, if you raise your hand. So, Rick, you were saying that you have the Maverick Mindsets podcast, and I did mention this to you. One of the things that we're looking at is building a podcast collaborative. So you were talking about mindsets. So what kind of mindsets would you say that people need to have, like me and Sophia need to have in starting this new venture? What kind of mindsets do you need to have to succeed in a venture like that, or even in business?
Well, I mean, I think that's a really intelligent question, actually, because without the right mindset, I'm not sure you're going to get very far. So for all those starting out or even on the journey of having a business, I think the first thing you need is desire. The big enough, what's the reason you want to do what you say you're going to do? So desire, a vision for what you want to achieve is really, really important. You need a plan, because without a plan that you can execute, you're not really going to get your desire. And you need resilience, because whatever happens, you're on that journey, whether you like it or not. No matter who you are, you might be Richard Branson, Elon Musk, whoever, you're on that journey. And it's a bit like an aircraft taking off from Heathrow Airport and going to New York. So it's got a desire to get to New York. It's got a plan because it's got a map of where it's going to go. It's going to hopefully fly east west out of Heathrow to New York. And then on that journey, it's going to get blown from left to right. It might have to avoid a storm and go up 2,000-3,000 feet, come back down. It will change, but it's got a plan. And through that resilience, it will land in New York. And that's really what a mindset is that you need to achieve.
That's good. And I appreciate that, because what I find is in situations like this, we have this thing called success bias, right? So we're not really going to put together a panel of people that have failed. Like, most people aren't going to do that, right? Because you want someone to be able to tell you this amazing story. People and see, tell me which one is the best. Like, nobody cares. Like, literally, nobody cares, right? So what I would say, invest in the things and ask the questions and make sure that you're doing the things that you need to do, but make sure you're also understanding that you don't know what you don't know, which is why you need professionals. Now, Rick, in that, we find that sometimes people say, well, I'm not going to go to a solicitor or a lawyer until I reach a certain point. So we reach a point where we start to have growing pains, right? Like, is that something that we should be fearful of, or should we embrace the fact that our business is growing?
Look, I think growth is what everybody wants, especially in business, but even in your life. You want to be growing and developing. I think the key thing about growth is you want the right growth. We've all been in businesses where we've chased revenue with the wrong customer, and it's not been long term. It might have been a disaster in some ways. So I think growth, you've got to understand what that value is you want. What is the value of the growth to you? That's the first thing you've got to look at. The second thing is, in business, growth costs money, whether you like it or not. In order to grow from £1 million business to £5 million, you're going to be spending some money before you get the value back. So you've got to be very careful how you're going to fund that. And that's a fact. And the third bit is people, yourself. Are you ready for growth? What are you going to do to invest in yourself to grow your business? And the people you've got in your business, are they going to get on the bus and go on that journey with you? Some will, some won't. But that's a fact. And I think you're not going to get there on your own. So growth's exciting, but it's that roller coaster again. It's ups and downs. But if you don't grow, and you stay the same, you'll actually wither and die, because what will happen is your competition will come along and nick all your business.
Right, that's helpful.
Or if you decide to, pass a business on, you can. But in order to do that, you have to have all of these foundational things established. Would you like to say anything about that, Rick? Because I know you do a lot of licensing.
Yeah, I mean, I think it probably comes back to what Anthony said earlier. When you're growing, you've got to keep the back wheels intact. The front wheels might be going so quick on the car, the back wheels have got to keep up. In my personal experience, I'm in the process of hopefully getting my main business ready for a trade sale, and that's a 3-year plan. It doesn't happen overnight. And all the stuff you've got to do, like, what you've got trademarked, what you own where, all your collateral in your business, all your financials, all your HR contracts, everything like that, you've got to go through and have all the boring stuff put to bed to make sure the exciting stuff creates the right values. It's really important.
That's again, we're talking about things that are might be a bit daunting to someone who's just here and saying, well, I'm just trying to start a business. You're talking about all this global licensing, and what about local businesses? Because there is a saying that I like, which is think globally, act locally.
We have to go to Disney and give them a business plan, and give them a lot of guaranteed funds for them to give us a license to go out and put Mickey Mouse on a T-shirt. And also, they control the approvals, so they have to, everything we design against their style guide, so we can't just redraw Mickey Mouse. It's got to come from their assets, their IP. We have to get that approved, and we have to show them the quality of the product, and we have to be fully compliant where in the world we manufacture it. So that's Disney, right, which is right at the top of the tree in intellectual property, entertainment IP, I guess. But but back to what you were saying earlier, it's a good thought process or discipline to take control of your assets, what you're creating, as early as possible, because at some point someone will try and take them from you. That's a fact, especially once it's out there on the internet.
Yeah, if it's done well enough, people will knock it off. That will happen.